Oh, you built up on that. You did like a vampire hiss
All
and
from
then
the
dropped
diagram.
it.
How you do?
Diagram? You mean the diaphragm?
Is that what I say? Diagram? I'm a doofus.
What's up, bro? Bad boy.
We got Daryl on the screen tonight, and Daryl's ass is in my face.
It's Daryl's time, folks.
Welcome to the show, everybody. We've got about 3 minutes. 3 minutes to show start.
All right, there we go. Bam. Okay. I'm going to click YouTube now. I don't know where my volume settings are at. Okay, no, nothing there.
Okay.
So there we were wondering if there's a technical issue last night because Ryan kind of lost his shit a little bit last night.
Yeah, Misty's aware.
I woke up this morning and shit was all taken down all over the place. I'm like, oh, he was serious. Holy shit, he was serious.
I was serious.
He wasn't playing.
How's everybody? Hey, Audrey. Ron, the magic floating head. Thank you.
Ron was just
What up, dudes?
Ron was just letting everybody know how disappointed he was all week that you weren't here. And we're not judging, but we definitely are judging.
I was disappointed.
You were.
Look at our new cups.
Look at that. Oh, dude.
And just so we know whose is whose, it's got our names on the back.
I told Ron I wanted to use his. He says no.
No, I was using mine already.
It's going to be really hot, too.
It is. But it's going to be hot through the show.
It's going to be hot.
You're welcome.
I just want to do a quick sound check, Mr. Phillips.
All right. Hang on a second.
How much time do we got,
You're
brother?
good. It's right there, 145.
That's right. I suppose I could have looked. I'm just going to go to music. If it's still here. All right. So I'm just going to do this. Historically great coffee. Hi, it's Doc Thompson for Matthew. Levels. Good.
You're good.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, on the lower stage, we have brother, the professor.
On the lower stage.
Dr. Ron Phillips.
I'm not taking anything off.
Come on, take it off.
Are you wearing pants?
I'm going to take them off if you keep talking shit. Come on.
This is not show start, folks. He's just practicing. He's practicing his vocals.
It sounded really good in my ears.
It did, didn't it?
Misty's listening to us, our voices.
Yeah.
And so we probably sound like idiots, but with the music in the background, it was phenomenal.
Yeah.
Oh, you can hear the music?
Yeah, because I've got the volume up over there. Let me turn that down. There we go.
And she said it sounded good. What's up? Isn't it weird?
Thank you for saying that because I needed to turn down that
Isn't
volume.
it weird that once these microphones go on, like we change? Like
Yeah,
Ron was super crabby before we started tonight.
That's not true.
No, not tonight.
Not that it was last night.
Oh,
but then I wasn't really crabby last night. All right.
I thought it was some paranormal stuff going down in the Phillips' house.
Some paranormal stuff. That's probably what was going on because Bonnie's got a story for you after the show.
What?
Yeah. Crazy, right?
A ghost one?
Yeah. All right, here we go.
Oh, it is time.
To have the opportunity to discuss it with you. Call us at 817-400-4040, email info@romikadesigns.com, or visit us on the web at romikadesigns.com.
Journey into the matrix of the mind. Stretch your imagination and challenge reality.
Come on!
Abnormal realities are beacons for the imagination. What society deems abnormal may be more real than we think. This is Abnormal Realities with your hosts, Ron Phillips and Rocky Stucci.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are making abnormal great again right here on the Abnormal Realities radio program, broadcasting on a bunker somewhere in the depths of the moon or somewhere in the ocean, but we are swimming. Happy Friday, happy Freaky Friday, folks. Ron Phillips.
Freaky Friday. We still don't know what that means yet, so just bear with us.
Ron asked me if I was wearing pants.
He said he wasn't going to wear pants.
They will come off.
But he's wearing pants. Thank God.
I'll just have to take the boots off first.
No, yeah, oh my God.
And we have Daryl with us tonight.
Daryl's back. Yeah, Daryl's back. His ass is in my face, but Daryl's back.
I'm kind of jealous about that.
I don't want you to be jealous.
Let me take a peek. Wow.
Dude,
nice curvature.
Yeah.
This is
a great mold.
It is a great mold, and
Yeah.
it's definitely a male. Except there's one part missing, but it didn't have the breastises like the Bigfoot we watched the other day.
So it has no. It's a boobless. That makes it a male. Yeah, I guess you're right.
but it also he's something else less.
He is, and his eyes glow. Did you notice that? They don't really. They kind of stand out a little bit. I think it's they're green. Look, yeah, he looks just like you. Welcome to the show, everybody. This is Abnormal Realities. We do have a guest tonight.
Oh, and he's sexy.
He is. I'll give him that.
Yep, I actually touched his butt in the past.
I'm sure you have. Was he happy about that?
He blushed. Either that or he had really high blood pressure. Okay. One of the two. Come on, let's do it.
All right, let's bring him in. Hey, everybody.
Oh, there he is.
Mr. Scotty Roberts. How are you, Scotty?
How you doing, Ron? Hey, Rocky.
Hey, how
I
you
still
doing?
got a handprint there. I was considering tattooing your face on my right ass cheek, but Rainey was like, she wanted to go first. So
that warms my soul, brother.
There it is, I'm sure.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, the gentleman you see on the screen right now is absolutely no stranger to the program. Brother at Arms, you guys have seen Scotty and I do a whole ton together, from going to Faribault, Minnesota, going to the old Indian reservation, which we will talk about a little bit tonight. Multiple different types of investigations. We've had our life and our soul sucked out of our spirits from a situation that we're going to share with you tonight. Everybody also knows him from the Intrepid radio program, author of numerous books, and you can find his website at scottallenroberts.com. Our brother, our friend, Scotty friggin' Roberts, my man. What's up?
Thanks, brother. Hey, it's kind of good to be on the radio with you again. It's been a long time.
It flows naturally. As a matter of fact, Ron, we won't get into detail, but Scotty and I were the ones that did the research for the waffle stomping.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry for what?
Waffle stomping.
What is that?
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh, my God. I said I wasn't going to talk about it.
I need you to talk about it.
Ladies, plug your ears. Or turn your volumes down, one of the two.
That's right. In
Okay,
3,
live
2,
studio audience.
go. Here we go.
So what waffle stomping is that people have fetishes. Like,
Okay.
I'm looking at Daryl's butt a lot right now. That's kind of a fetish.
All right.
But what people do is they actually poop in the shower, and then they like to step on it to feel the poop come through their toes, and it's like stomping a waffle in the morning.
It's kind of like there's a Bigfoot crossover here. It's kind of like, you could do castings of the footprint. So
It's a real thing.
Jeez.
We researched it.
It's a
I was
real
going to say,
thing.
you took time to research that.
We actually played audio
You couldn't-
from the Urban Dictionary. It was fabulous. I can play audio about the trombones.
Oh, my God.
Are you what? Give me a hug. Come here. It's okay.
I'm not giving you a hug.
Damn it.
I'm just having a little bit of a problem.
Happy Friday, everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will say, every time Rainey hears the term rusty trombone now, your face comes to
Oh,
mind for her.
my
I don't know what
Lord.
that's all about. So cheers, yeah.
It's harder to do with that cup, isn't it?
It is, and it's super hot.
Take the
still.
lid off.
No, I don't want to.
Okay. Yeah.
Scotty, nothing's changed, as you can see. Still wild, crazy, and wacky on the radio. It's what we
Nothing.
do, brother. It's what
There
we
it
do.
is.
So what's been going on with Mr. Roberts? Hey, Scotty. So there's two major things, folks, that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about when Scotty and I, Sarah Soderland, Randy Roberts, we went down to, I don't know if it's so much of an island, but is it Pikes Island, Scotty? Was it the name
It's
of
right.
it?
It's right off Pikes Island. It's the flats, the river flats below Fort Snelling.
That's right. So there was some things, very unfortunate things that happened there, and we'll let Scotty get into that here in just a little bit. And then the second segment, we're going to recap and relive a situation. The reason I wanted to do it was because we have a whole new audience that's listening to the program. By the way, hello, everybody over there in Opslands, Mojo 50 Radio, Odyssey Radio. We love the hell out of each and every one of you. And we are reading the comments right now on Abnormal Realities Facebook page and, of course, Abnormal Realities YouTube channel. But
I mean, I can't wait. I'm anxious to hear these sound recordings.
Yeah,
you've talked about them with me
I
for a
have.
year or two.
it's no, there is no exaggeration in what I'm saying right now. It changed me, literally.
Especially one of them. One of them specifically. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But now, Scotty, what were you just talking about? Before I gave the breakdown for tonight's show, you're going to say something. I wanted you to.
About Fort Snelling?
No. I was going to ask you. We did a program this week. Not a lot. We didn't really get into the depth of it. We've had guests on in the past, but crop circles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I can say right now, all three of us are extreme skeptics on crop circles,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But do you think that there could be any validity to any of a crop circle that has ever been laid out?
I
in
think
the
so.
past?
I think so. You know, a really good person to talk to about that is Michael Freehawk Polanyi. You've seen him.
We've had him on.
I've had him on my show, and I met him. The first time I met him was down in Prescott, Arizona. We were doing a paranormal event where we were both speaking, and he talked about crop circles specifically at the time. And there are crop circles that are crap circles, frankly.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing to them. And you can tell they're faked, but there are certain key elements to crop circles, what's been done to the stalk of the plant that's bent over and so on, all of that stuff. What I know about crop circles intimately, could fill a thimble. So that's why I talk to other people about it who know. And so crop circles, I think there's real ones and I think there's fake ones. To see some of the intricate designs and patterns that get brought up sometimes in mere hours would be impossible manpower-wise to produce.
To have created. Have you guys ever been to a crop circle and seen one in person?
I have not.
Rocky?
I have never.
Oh, yeah.
No.
I'd love to. Just to see. I mean, because people talk about the stalks are bent but not broken.
Right. So now here's the question I have now. Okay, so they always say that, not they always, but there's been a lot of reference in regards to UFOs giving off a radiation, right? So if they went and investigated an area where there was a crop circle created, could we not monitor radiation levels within the soil right there if a UFO literally came down to create that image?
Have they not done that already?
I don't know.
They have. This
have.
is something I know Michael Freehawk has done this. Michael Freehawk has done this, and he says some of the, if I am not misquoting it because I don't know the science of it, but where the stalks are bent, there's something to the actual intrinsic genetic quality, if that's the right term, DNA, DNR, whatever. That's where it's bent. There's something molecularly different has happened to that plant, and there's radiation in it, and there is. So this is all I know. This is what I hear from the guys that study this stuff and say, yeah, there's something to some of these. So
it's interesting to me because I mean you're talking about the detail of crop circles.
Yes,
and for all we know, somebody went out there with a board and created it, and it just happened to have that same detail.
The old duffers in England with the board.
Yeah,
the old guys in England with the board. That's so much crap because the stuff they did, it doesn't look anything like what they would. The ubiquitous they in the know would say is an actual crop circle.
Yeah, well, if one ever gets laid around here, we'll go check it out.
Yeah, I'm in.
In a crop circle?
Yeah, a crop circle.
A crop circle.
All right, now
I got laid last Saturday.
Hey, Nanu, bitches, what's up? No, is that the wrong one?
No, that's right. No,
Nanu.
I don't know. I guess that's it.
That's a new thing for Truck Wars.
Audrey's gonna shoot you something. The bird.
Something. And then
shoot you with a gun.
And she does this whole Dr. Tortoise where they get in that blue phone booth and they travel in time. The tortoise.
Oh, the tortoise. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't think
that's Dr. Whom?
Yeah.
Dr. Whom, yeah.
That girl. All right, Scotty. So let's see. We have 14 minutes and we'll probably need that time to talk about when we went down to the area around Pikes Island, Fort Snelling area.
Yeah.
So lay out the history of that area, and then we'll get into when we went down there and connected with spirit.
And that's what you do when you connect with spirit. It's like, yes, spirit.
You got to feel it in your face. All right, go ahead. It's all you.
I'm missing all these Rockyisms these days, so I've got to catch up again. So, I've done a lot of research and study into Native American, not because it's my heritage, but because it was something that was of great interest to me. And I was really surprised when I found out that the first concentration camp really in the United States, and some of them say in the world, concentration camp by modern definition, was right here in Minneapolis, underneath the cliffs at Fort Snelling. Fort Snelling's been there for about 200 plus years, thereabouts. Early 1800s it was built. And in the 1860s, in Minnesota was the Dakota Wars, where there was the Dakota Uprising. And the native tribes were striking out against the settlers and striking out against the white military and so on. And after this, they had been subdued, and there were about 1,200 Lakota people, men, women, and children, that were put in a concentration camp stockade that was built down on the river flats right below Fort Snelling. And I didn't know that. As much as if I can just make a quick reference, as much as I didn't know that the Dred Scott case, where the black African slave sued for his emancipation because he was owned by a slave master north of the Mason-Dixon line, that happened at Fort Snelling too, and I didn't know that. But that's all right here in our backyard. And so at this concentration camp, and I'm giving you the light version of this, there were about 300 men, women, and children that died of deprivation and starvation and the elements and so on in the winter of 1862. And if you can imagine, I've seen photographs of the place where there's the teepees are set up all inside this stockade down on the river flats. And they had many of the warriors were in there as well, and they took 39 of them out, brought them down to Mankato and hung them in a mass hanging down in Mankato, Minnesota. And but we went down to the river flats. It's all wooded. It's a state park now. There's the asphalt paths going all the way through, bike paths, walking paths. You can see the fort through the woods up on the cliffs up there. And finding the actual site of the concentration camp, it's not marked. If you go to one of the billboards, there's an old, weathered looking card on there that says something about there had been a concentration camp here. The Dakota tribe funded a memorial that they put up there. It's built out of logs and wood, memorializing the people who died there. And so we're walking through and we're trying to find the location based on a photograph that had been taken in the 1860s from way up at the fort, where you can see it down below. And we're trying to see where the building was and line it up. And we found the spot. There was all kinds of, in the dirt and the trees, you could see little blockwork things, structures that had been torn down and so on. And so we stood there and we were in broad daylight. The fort, state of Minnesota, they're not going to give you permission to go ghost hunting or paranormal investigating. So you just do it while you're there. We're walking through the park. And we set up a spirit box. And we had Sarah Soderlin with us at the time that we did this first time. And we turn on the spirit box, which gives you voices. And we're picking up just a cacophony of different voices. You're hearing children. You're hearing children talking, children laughing, children crying. You're hearing adults. But you couldn't make out language. And to hear bits and pieces and phrases that
Rocky, this isn't what you were talking about when you mentioned the French. That's a different.
No,
place,
that's
right?
different. That's a different one.
Okay.
Yep.
So I'll wrap this up real quick. We were getting voices, and it was very emotional. And one of the last things I asked, I said, if is anybody here that was in the concentration camp here, that lived here, died here, I said, if you have anything you want us to share with people outside, what would it be? And a male voice came through and it said, remember us.
Yep.
Oh, just like that.
And Scotty, it was, and folks, we're showing a picture right now. This is the first one that came up. It's not a huge picture. Sorry that you have my computer stuff in there, but this is what it actually looked like when all the natives were in this camp. This is where they lived, and they survived this through winter times. Can you see the picture, Scotty?
Oh, hang on just a second.
It's way up on the top at the fort, looking over the wall down into the river flats.
Yep.
And Pikes Island is way in the background. You can see a channel of the Mississippi River or Minnesota River cutting through there and above the camp. But this is the camp, and in the summer, it's like a swamp down there, and it's bug-ridden, and it's hot, and it's nasty. And in the wintertime, imagine living there in the winter when it hits 30 below zero in Minnesota.
And here's one of the frustrations, because you said this when you first started talking. How many people are riding their bikes on those paths down there and have no idea of the situation, no idea at all. And it was the same thing, Scotty, when we went down to Faribault for the boys home. I mean, we had to go to the city center where you get all the historical society.
Yep.
And we had to fight tooth and nail
to get the information.
Just to get the information about this area. I mean, we were getting EVPs audibly. We weren't getting them. Yeah. We could hear them. We could hear. Remember that, Scotty? It was like a little girl or a little boy or a kid.
Do you remember down at Faribault where we were standing in the woods and where there's these old bunkers are down in there and the old foundations from the farm and the boys' home? And as we're starting to leave, and it's daylight, this is just one experience there, Rocky stops and he turns back around. And he says, "Did you hear that?" And we all stopped and listened. You could hear a woman crying. Yep. And it's in the tops of the trees. And we thought, are we picking up sound from a local park or something? And we actually went up out on the top, and you look at you got this pasture land all around you, farmland. And there was a voice. There was a woman that was calling him back. Remember, there was also that voice when we had Travis with us that was talking about it's talking to us from the other side. It even used those words.
Did you ever see anything, or did you just hear it?
We didn't see it, but we got it actually on audio.
Oh, you did?
Oh, no. We got it on video. We actually got the audio on video.
Yes.
So because we were just filming all these different segments. And so we were leaving and I was recording and we were filming when that happened. And we went back and we actually picked it up on video. So it was like,
so you hear the woman.
At some point, he'll bring these videos to us.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah, okay. I still got them. Absolutely. But so going back to Fort Snelling, it amazes me how, you know what, we have to face our history. That's what makes us better. Scotty, Ron, myself, we've all gone through shit in our life, man. And it was those experiences and those failures that have developed us to be better at being a good person, right? We got to look at that same aspect as a country. We can't make these things go away. We've done stupid things. Right. We've made mistakes, right? We got to learn from that, because if we bury that, then we're doomed to repeat it if we're not going to educate people on that.
Right.
And that was the same thing. So we had Faribault and we had Pikes Island, towards like nobody knew. And the Pikes Island is historical.
As far as you know, were you guys the first ones to do any kind of EVP
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so.
I think there's probably been other people that have done it, but I have not seen anything from anybody. I've heard things from other people that said, oh, I know of somebody who went down there. I don't know if they recorded EVPs and so on. I'd like to go back there again. And, just on a note about what you were saying, Rocky, my good friend Ruben Fasthorse, who is Lakota Sioux, he's a language revivalist, Lakota language revivalist. He teaches Native American history. Dear friend of mine. It's like he will say, he says, look, what happened in the past, I wasn't there. You weren't there, Scotty. He says, neither of us have an axe to grind in what happened. What we have is the now and what we can learn from it, how we live together now, how we work together now. Right. And so you can't change what's happened, but you can certainly learn something about it. And when you hear a voice that says, remember us, that's pretty moving stuff.
Perfectly. And the thing is, though, Scotty, I know whether you admit it publicly or not, and I don't think you don't shy away from it. You are very empathic. I'm very empathic. So when you have somebody who has the emotion of empathy, you don't have to be a psychic of any form to walk into this area and to feel it, right? And then, Scotty, do you remember the deer? The deer that just came. I think Audrey was down there for that. And so
Audrey was there with us.
Yeah, Audrey posted a note here that said, be sure to tell them about the deer and to remember us.
Yep. It was, so, here's the thing. And Scotty, and I am speaking for Scotty, you don't just go to an area where tragic things have happened like this, and I'm going to say especially, any tragedy is a bad tragedy, but especially Native Americans, right? Yep. That is sacred land.
I started to say it's sacred, it's spiritual.
Absolutely.
It always has been for them, and I get that.
We were extremely hesitant to do what we did, and we made sure that when we approached this situation...
Why? For disrespectful reasons?
We didn't want to disrespect
we wanted to be very respectful. Rocky
Understand,
even said
yeah.
when we got started, he said, we're approaching this with, he's speaking not to me, he's speaking to any spirits that might be there. He said, we want to approach you with all due respect. We took tobacco. We left tobacco, which is a traditional gift that you give to the elders. And we left tobacco there and as an offering. And so doing it with respect and doing it with, and I think that's read and that's felt. What people forget is that you connect with something that's still living on the other side of this life. They still have free will. They still know what to do. They know how to talk to you. They know they don't always have the energy to do it, but they're there. And so you have to, they're not just toys to play with or be played with. And so if you use that respect, many times you'll get the respect returned.
Yeah, and Scotty, you got a little emotional, I think, that day after we heard.
I did.
The Remember Us. You know, he had a moment, and he needed a hug,
Yeah.
and it became like a 4-minute hug. But I gave it to him because he needed it,
Yeah.
and he was all red and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying, bro?
Well, yeah, but if you're an empath, then you're feeling those feelings.
Well, so I think it was a combination of the empathic,
kind of an overwhelming
feeling,
type thing.
But you know, there's
It
the
overwhelms you very quickly.
right. There's the anger. You know, because you're angry because it happened the way that it happened. There's the tragedy of the children and the mothers that froze to death over the winter times.
Sure.
You know, so there's all these different emotions, plus the spiritual connection you're making with what's existing there still to this day. So it's like a combination of multiple things that just overwhelm the system.
Yes, that's it. That's exactly it. So,
Scotty Roberts, boy, we got about 1:30 before we have to go out. These conversations I love.
Scotty, did you go to Mankato to do any readings?
I didn't do any readings in Mankato.
Okay.
I haven't been down there to do that. I'd like to go to the site of the mass hanging. It was actually Abraham Lincoln that signed the writ to allow this execution to take place. And he said 39, and then he held one more back, and he said 38. He says, I'm only going to give you the right to execute 38 of
And it was supposed to
Who
be
was the
warriors.
39th?
Yeah, who was the unlucky dog on that? Scott,
I think that was his Indian name, Lucky Dog.
Lucky
Lucky
Dog.
dog. Hey, lucky dog.
That's funny.
I forgot what I was going to say now. All right, but anyways, no, you know, we have a whole nother segment now, folks. When we come back, some of you have heard this audio before, but we have a few different EVPs that we're going to play you. This was the location that changed my life, and it was one of the most horrifying experiences that I've ever personally had in regards to paranormal. Scotty was there, and Mrs. John Ward was there. Yes,
The famous utterance. The famous utterance of John Ward is on that recording.
It is. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere because this is going to get interesting. I think this is a great way to spend our Friday nights right here. Abnormal Realities.
all
Ron
freaky.
Phillips, Rocci Stucci, brother Scotty Roberts joining us tonight. Folks, do not go anywhere because our sexy asses are going to be right back. Stand by. Come on. Ryan does the... That was me.
Okay. What?
That was me.
I got you.
Live free.
I got you.
I did it. and I was just
Scotty,
like,
we're clear from
maybe
the
I
air
shouldn't
right
do
now
that.
for 2 minutes.
Last night.
We're still on Facebook.
Scott
though.
Livingston. Scott Livingston wanted me to turn my head to the left and
Tell
cough.
Scotty to tilt his head
Scott,
to the left
Scott,
and frown.
Warm up your fingers, Scott. No. He said tilt my head to the left and frown, not cough.
Oh,
Yeah, he wants you to
so-
frown at Rocky.
So
I got concerns for Livingston. You know, I mean,
we
dude,
all have them.
Oh,
You know, with Scott Livingston, we just talk to him and we keep him happy.
Gotta keep him
That's
happy.
what we do.
Yep.
You know, there are things you don't say to Scott Livingston. There's things you don't want to talk about in front of him.
Definitely not.
And it's all an effort to keep Scott happy and talking. Hey, Scott, how's it going this morning?
Are
Have
you
we
happy
had dinner
today?
Are you happy? Did you eat your yogurt for
Have
breakfast,
you had dinner
Scott?
today?
when was the last? The biggest question we asked Scott Livingston is, dude, when was the last time you washed your underwear?
And what answer do you
Me?
get from that?
Never.
Never.
No, Scott
Scotty.
Livingston.
Or
What
Scott.
underwear?
Dude, that's what I'm
Hey,
saying.
Brianna. My neighbor Brianna wants to come over and break in.
She ain't breaking nothing.
Yeah.
Tell her no.
You can do that on my show tonight, Brianna. So
She wants to come and break in.
She
What
wants to come
underwear?
break in.
So Livingston just took your line, dude. He said, what underwear? I'm like, dude, that's a little late. Livingston Roberts already said it like 4 minutes ago, bro.
Who's
Shut the
Jaws?
hell up, Roberts. That's his go-to line with me these days. Shut
All right,
the hell up, Roberts.
Here we go, brother. 15
right, here we
seconds.
go.
We're going silent.
Assuming that my internet is back.
On a mojo budget.
Hallelujah. Oh my God, that was terrible. Holy shit, really?
What?
I hit that button like 10 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah. Welcome back, Abnormal Realities. This is Ron Phillips. That is Rocci Stucci. And we have our special guest, Scotty Roberts. Welcome back, guys. By the way, you can visit us on our website. It's abnormalrealities.com. I think Rocky's supposed to be working on that. I checked on it today. No progress. He was busy. He was busy. I know what he was doing today, and he wasn't working on a website. Rocky was actually... he was taking care of business. I get that.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy wife, happy life.
Happy
So,
wife,
yeah.
happy life. And I like to spoon in the morning.
Oh, good Lord. Scotty, how's it going? Oh,
Son of a bitch.
It's going. It's going about as good as it can go.
Oh, yeah. All right.
I want to hear these things. Let's go.
All right, so, I better pull it up, shouldn't I? All right, so, Scotty, now, folks, here's the deal. We're going to talk about something called the Fernhill House. Scotty, I got a quick question before I forget it.
Yes.
Okay, why do you think that when human transitioned into spirit, this is deep, dude. I've been thinking about this, man.
All right.
And we go to these locations, and I understand the energy part, right? But why the hesitation when you have an entity that is willing to talk to you, like things like, hey, I'm going to kill you. I've gotten that before.
What?
Oh, yeah. I'll kill you.
Yeah, I do.
Oh,
Yeah.
hell no.
Yeah, I'll kill you. Why is there all of a sudden, once they make that transition, the hesitancy to communicate with physical humans?
You're asking me why that is. I think there's probably an answer that we'll never be able to qualify or quantify because none of us have been there yet. I think it's probably because they're in a different place and they're probably not thinking about this place anymore. That's what I have been told by people who seem to be in the know on these things. I know I've had communications with lost loved ones who have gone over. And the communications I had one of them, my aunt who passed away, who communicated with me audibly and said, I think I'm dead. Yeah, I died, but I'm okay, is
Wow.
what came out in all of those.
Now, what was happening when you heard her speak, Scotty?
I actually had a spirit box hooked up to my computer.
Okay.
My then 16-year-old daughter was sitting with me. It was late at night, and I was just asking questions, and we got the voice coming through. And the voice was asking, it said, "This is Andy." And it was my aunt who had passed away. And so we got to talking, and she's asking me questions. She was asking where my mom was by name. Where's Janie?
Oh, Scott, you said this was at the ranch,
like
right?
that. So
you said
this was out at my ranch.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, I remember that. And go ahead, Scotty.
I wanted to wrap that up quick because I don't want to spend a lot of time on it. But that's the kind of communication that was going on back and forth. And they weren't complete sentences, but they were actually pretty hefty phrases. Where's your mom? How are you? My daughter died. She died when my daughter was 3. Yeah. My daughter said, "Do you remember who I am?" And the voice came back and said, "I see you there. You're pretty now." Oh. And this is no way this could be hoaxed because nobody could be out there. The thing doesn't have a transmitter in it,
right,
etc. So that's the context where I was getting these messages.
I only have a very little experience with these spirit boxes. just from what we did when we were in
Oh,
Georgia.
yeah.
And that's minuscule,
Yep,
right? Compared
yep.
to what you guys have done.
We'll run that thing for hours on end.
Yeah.
And a
Oh,
lot
yeah.
of people that have never done it before, you turn it on and they think that you're like calling somebody. You're going to have a
Yeah.
two-way conversation.
And that's not at all what it is.
You can go all night and
No.
get nothing.
Yeah.
You can go through spurts where you get a crap ton and then it goes away. It's all contingent.
Audrey-
on-
Are all spirit boxes basically the same where they're constantly on this fast scan?
it's similar concepts, but there's some new technology coming out that is worth a conversation in the future.
Okay. I think you and I briefly
Yep,
talked about it
yep.
before.
And Scotty, you know what
And
I'm
there are
talking
things
about.
with those. I do. There are things with those spirit boxes. Like we had Audrey when we were out at the Minnesota Renaissance Festival grounds. First, we had Jimmy, who runs the thing. One of the old entertainers who had died said hi to him through the box. Hey, Jimmy.
Yep.
And we got other things like that. But Audrey had her name called out on
She's
this
freaked
box.
out. Yeah, she was freaked out from
And,
that.
and, yeah, a little freaky. She was
know-
there with us.
Scotty, you know that the first time you actually hear your name being said, or you hear something
That's
like
kind
like,
of one of those chill things
Yeah.
with the hair standing up. Oh,
Yep.
or you get your first, I'll kill you.
now see that would
Yeah.
worry me a lot more than them saying my name. I
Well,
promise
see,
you that.
I've heard that. I've heard that directed at me before. There was a place in Sauk Center, or not Sauk Center, something out west in Minnesota, old hotel we were at, and I got
Palmer?
that.
That was a Palmer.
That's it, the Palmer House. I'll kill you.
Yep.
And I answered back in it wasn't faux anger, but I put it on and I said, "Why the hell would you say that to me? Do you know me from somewhere? What gives you the right to say you'll kill me?" And you know what the answer was? He goes, "I'm Lutheran."
What?
And then that's the answer. And I said, "Oh well, I'm not seeing the
okay.
connection there, but
That's right.
oh,
Gotcha.
I'm
Now I
Lutheran."
understand. Appreciate it.
Makes sense now. Okay. Continue to kill me. Continue to kill me.
But it was the same voice. He just went from anger to kind of sheepish.
I'm
So
Lutheran.
it was
I'm
interesting.
Lutheran. I'm a
I
Jehovah.
couldn't help myself. I'm sorry.
Now, folks, you guys have heard Scotty and I talk about the Fernhill House. Now, we will not get into the in detail of all the experiences that I've had there or Scotty, but we're going to talk about a specific night. This house, and Scotty, you've heard me say it before, if we were to ever prove the existence of ghosts, it would be at the Fernhill House.
Okay.
Without
And now where is
freaking
this
doubt.
located?
Do it right off Minnetonka Boulevard, Minneapolis,
okay.
in a regular
So
neighborhood.
This
literally
is-
close to where you used to live.
This
kind of.
Yeah.
You know where this is. It's the southern suburb of not even a suburb. It's inner city. It's Minneapolis, the residential area down by the Lake District, which is if you're from this area, folks, Lake Calhoun, Lake of the Isles, all those. It's all inner city lakes, and there's all the big old mansions and big old houses and old homes that are there.
Yep.
And this is a place where the Strip has all got, I think right across the street now is like a Brugger's Bagels, and there's stuff all over in apartment buildings, cheap apartment buildings put up. This is the original house in that area. And I will make just a note, at the time when Fort Snelling, which is about 20 minutes by car, it's roughly 15 to 20 miles away, this house could be the roadhouse that was like the first stop as they were marching out to Frontier.
And
Because
it used
there was
to be
nothing else there.
It used to be a cemetery. That land used to be a cemetery.
Where the Fernhill House is.
Yep.
You've
So-
told me that because something about the garage, I think.
Yeah. So they started building an apartment building next door, and then they found a whole bunch of human bones, human cadavers. So they had to call the city. City shut it down. All this is documented. The city shut it down and found hundreds of bones that were undocumented, buried in the 1700s, early 1800s. So what the city did was make a big pile, put them in a big dump truck, and then they dug a big hole, poured the bones in a hole, buried it, and then that is where the garage now of the
I was gonna
Fernhill
say-
House lays.
Guess where your garage
Did they
is?
know that when they were building the
They
Fernhill
knew
House?
it. They knew it. Well, actually, the house was
knew it.
there. Yeah, the house was there. Like I said, this is such a long story, but
What the
this
hell?
haunting has gone on for 40 years with this particular family. 40 years since these people were children.
And they're still in the house.
They have they had no
Now,
problem with it
Fernhill-
all these years.
The house was built in 1850, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Now, they didn't have a garage back then. I think the
Right.
garage was a much later add-on, obviously.
Yep.
But even the apartment building next door, you know what those old little brick fourplexes look like? This is a little bigger than that, but it's that same style of apartment building is built right on top of where part of the cemetery was.
I got videos of
So-
when you and I and John were there and John was doing the dowsing. I got videos of, I
Yep.
got multiple videos of that location that I'll share. So, Scotty, I'm going to play the entirety of the first
All
video.
right.
Folks, just to visualize, Scotty Roberts, John Ward, and myself were down in the basement. We were doing a spirit box. It was the first time ever I've ever felt a location go dead, meaning that we weren't feeling anything. So I started asking questions, or actually saying that I was going to buy the house. And the house is not intended to be sold, right? And I knew this. And what you're going to hear is what happened directly after that. It's going to be the spirit box. We're going to play the audio, and then we're going to go back, and then we're going to break this audio down.
All right, good.
So prepare yourself.
Let's do it.
Now, there is going to be one little bit of language in this video is when John Ward was having a heart attack trying to get up the stairs. He did drop an
Yes.
F-bomb.
All right, so it's language warning. There
It
you
is
go.
a language warning. So here it is, folks. All right, here it comes.
Alright, guys. Get me out of this fucking house. Wait. What tipped over? Hello, thank you for the sound. What was that? Hello? Is anyone here?
All right, listen. Listen for breathing. Listen for a word.
Welcome. Hey, thank you. Thank you for the sign.
All right. So now, all right, shutting off here. John said, what the hell was that? Now, we were all literally freaking out. Now, that big noise that you heard,
Yeah.
now, this is the best way
The
that I
crash,
could,
the
the crash.
bang, yeah.
If I would have a 12-gauge shotgun right here and I shot it off, we would feel the power from the gun.
Correct.
Right? It'll go through our body.
Concussion.
Yes. We felt a concussion go through our body.
So draw a picture for us real quick. In the Fernhill house, where were you?
We were sitting in the basement.
sitting in the basement.
Well,
Was it dark?
I was sitting on the floor. Scotty was sitting on the stairs, and then John was standing up against the table. Now, when you heard that noise and you heard John and Scotty running out of there, you actually hear me call for them because I was afraid, and I didn't want them to leave me down in the basement by myself, bro.
It's okay. It's okay. You're all right. Was it dark?
No, lights were on.
We actually had a light on.
It didn't have to be dark in the Fernhill house. You just
Wow.
heard people walking around, talking. It was the weirdest thing.
Okay,
there.
so several things in the audio that I noticed, and probably everybody else did too. Number one, is very hard to understand it and hear it at the very beginning.
Yeah.
So
that's just
was there
background
was
noise.
there a EVP at the beginning of this?
No, that was me talking or
Okay.
or somebody asking questions during
So
the
the first
spirit box
There was-
session.
the first spirit issue that we came
There was
across
also-
was the bang.
was the bang.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, before the bang, you're hearing little bits of gibberish coming through the spirit box.
Okay.
Now, it was nothing substantive. And then you hear the bang. I was on the steps. I'm the one that stand up and I go, hello.
Yep.
And
Okay.
and Rocky's and John is right up my ass trying to get
Dying.
up the stairs.
He was dying.
Yeah. And
John was
I
trying,
said,
John was trying to knock your ass down to get up the stairs, wasn't he?
because I said kitchen. I said, it's
Yep.
in the kitchen.
Yep.
And so we ran upstairs. The kitchen's at the top of the steps.
So the kitchen is
And,
where you thought
John's
the bang
right
came from.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Now,
So-
Rocky said it sounded like a 12 gauge.
Yeah.
At the time, I described it as it sounded like somebody took a metal scaffolding and tipped it over on the wood floor upstairs, and the whole house just reverberated.
So the recording that I heard of the bang
Yep.
was being recorded with
So,
you guys.
So here's the funny part. So Scotty and I debated for a few seconds because I thought it came from the basement strictly because we felt it go through our body.
right.
Now the house was empty. There's only two wooden bar stools up in the kitchen. They were getting ready to do a remodel. There was nothing in the house. We checked the windows. We checked the doors. Trust me, folks, we're not one of those types. We checked every freaking thing. So Scotty and I kind of went back and forth, and then so John had his recorder going upstairs. John went
He had a
and grabbed
little
the
pocket recorder.
little pocket recorder, and it came from the dining room. It came now.
Yep.
When we went up to the dining room, and I'm going to play this, you hear us scare. We're running upstairs. You hear us go upstairs, and then you hear that breathing. It goes,
Yeah, I heard that.
okay,
and then
that wasn't us,
and then a welcome.
and that wasn't us.
not us. That wasn't us
what?
either.
That was a voice that was there of a spirit. He goes, you hear, welcome.
Now, what was interesting is Rocky had I don't know what you call it, with the two mics on a tripod that was picking up the sound.
digital recorder.
And
Yes,
you
yes.
actually heard it in stereo. The huffing started and it
Yep.
went It went from right to
as
left.
it was as
on
if
the
it was
stereo.
walking past the stereo microphone.
And
Okay.
and during the huffing, that's where you hear as clear as a bell. Somebody goes, "Welcome."
And Scotty, I think you have that.
And we didn't hear any of this.
We didn't hear any of it.
So,
No. You didn't hear the welcome?
We didn't hear
Or
none
the
of that.
breathing?
None
we
of
didn't
it.
hear the welcome or
None
the
of it.
breathing. Yeah.
Scotty, now I don't know. I believe that this 5-second clip, because it doesn't say here, but I think this 5-second clip is the breathing and the welcome. So let's listen to what we have here.
Welcome.
That was not us. That was not us.
And we didn't hear that until we played back the tape.
I got one EVP down in the basement there, and it goes, "His word is the way."
Yeah.
Did you get that on recording?
I did. I sure did, bro. Yeah, I did. All right,
Now,
here's the breathing again.
John,
Yep.
I can't believe you didn't hear that breathing and that welcome.
Welcome.
Didn't hear it at all. But that's the thing. So you can walk around with a camcorder.
Yeah.
And you will get people talking to you, but you don't hear it audibly. It's at a completely different level of volume.
But the audio on the camera, the recorder picks it up.
It picks it up. So that
now
was
you know
the
what
recording.
John told us earlier in the basement, within a half hour before this happened. He was picking up, he was dowsing, and he was finding rooms in the way the place had been laid out differently. And remember, Rocky, he said, I'm picking up, he says, like, this was a whorehouse. It was a roadhouse. And the madam of the house is here and all these girls. And he said, everybody seems very happy. And he says, and the madam was rather happy. And she came in and he said, she's talking to us right now. And then she bolted out of there and all the girls scattered. And that was just before all this started.
I'm going to tell you right now, the madam had a deep voice.
Yep.
And she welcomed you guys to her brothel.
Well.
And she breathes heavily.
Heavily.
She was like, how you doing?
How you doing?
How you doing? Welcome.
All right. So now this next EVP that I have here, I think this was the first time, Scotty, because Scotty and John came out a couple times, or at least Scotty did. So John and Scotty were walking around. I was filming or doing something, and they were talking, and you actually hear voices in the background. And
again, you guys couldn't hear them.
We could not hear these voices.
But the voices are in the background
I have to
of you guys
preface.
talking.
Yep, bring it down.
I have to preface this too. John was picking up that this area of the house was where there was, he said, I can actually see in my mind's eye, he says, there's a woman in a red dress and she's riding a guy. And I said, oh, she's riding him. So we got a little locker room talking there. We were kind of joking around about, riding him. But something you're going to notice at the very beginning of this recording, as John and I are laughing about that, you hear somebody shushing us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's near the very beginning of this before the other two guys come in later.
All right.
And so
here
I'll
we go.
say that much.
It's a 13-second audio clip. So listen in.
So, if you shoot him right, he didn't have to give it, and she likes to shoot her right. I kind of realized it. Mine too.
Right there. That was it. Right at the end.
Those two voices.
There was two voices. It goes, Mandu. Play it again.
Those are your French guys.
I've listened to it. I've listened to it so much. It sounds like this. It sounds like the first voice is saying, it sounds like, I'm happy in Iceland. And the other voice goes, Mandu.
And what is
French? Mandu.
Mandu. See those French dudes.
What is
Mandu,
Mandu?
that's my
What is
God.
Mandu in French? Do we know?
My God. It's an
Okay.
exclamation.
Okay.
My God.
And
bitches.
so we don't know what the other guy was saying, but the other one responded to him. I go, my God. And that's a very French thing.
Play it again, please.
And
All right, here we go. I'm gonna play
what
it
we
again,
did
Scotty.
find out, by the way, is that the guys who built this house were French Canadians.
Yep, that's right.
Of course you did.
That's right.
All right, play it.
Shit all comes together, bro.
So, if you shoot him right, he didn't have to give it, and she likes to shoot her right. I kind of realized it. Mine too.
Oh, Mandu. Shut up.
Wow. Now you guys are saying that those were two different voices.
It sounds like if you
Two
would
different
put-
voices.
Yeah, if you put them on an audio file, you'll see that the volumes
because you
are
could
the
probably
same.
take some of that out of the
Right, you
background.
can take it out, but you can also see a difference in the profiles.
What's interesting about it is they both echoed off of the empty rooms.
That's weird.
There were wooden floors and empty rooms, and their voices echoed and off the walls like they would if you're talking in an empty house. And the one voice was, and there are different tonal qualities to the voice. I've listened to these things and clarified them a bit so I could hear them better. We even sent the first one to linguists to try to say, do you know what this guy is saying? And nobody can quite figure it out.
Now, Scotty, now we got 9 minutes left, and I just had this thought. Folks, we're telling a long story. We're really breaking this down into the short version. Again, I just want to give everybody a shout out. Everybody over there on YouTube, Mojo50, Odyssey, the Abnormal Realities Facebook page. Thank you all so much for being here, listening on iHeartRadio, and of course, listening live on Spreaker. Thank you all so much. We really appreciate you hanging out with us on this Friday night. Scotty,
it's Freaky Friday night.
Yeah, it's Freaky Friday. Take your pants off.
I'm not taking my pants off.
You should take your pants off.
I'm saving that audio, by the way.
Here.
Take your pants off.
Take your pants off.
No, Rock.
Do it, Scotty.
That's all,
please.
I
Please.
can do that.
Look.
Yeah. Oh.
Do you feel
Yeah,
free?
didn't you hear the choir of angels?
I heard the belt hit the floor. All right. So, okay. What did I want? We were talking. Oh, so now when you were doing the Paradigm Symposium, Barry Fitzgerald from Ghost Hunters International from Ireland.
Yes.
He came over, hung out in the garage, and there was an explanation because we reached out to every muscle that we knew in this field, and nobody
with these audio clips,
and with the Big Bang.
Oh, with the Big Bang,
and nobody could give us a decent, reasonable explanation until Barry Fitzgerald comes along. Scotty, come on, what's up?
Yeah, we had the Paradigm Symposium, and John Ward was staying at my house for that, and Barry Fitzgerald, we flew him in from Ireland. He was staying at my house, and we started talking about this thing. And Barry Fitzgerald was on Ghost Hunters International. He was the lead investigator, if you don't know who he is. And he's a researcher and writer and all this stuff. And we played this for him. That happened the same week that he was there. And we played this, and he said, he says, I've heard similar things to this in Ireland. He says, in the caves and in other places. He says, the best description I can give you for this, it's like a buildup of spirit energy that is so built up and contained, it releases. And you get this big bang, this big boom.
Like a sound barrier.
Like that.
Like breaking the sound barrier.
Now, let me ask you a question.
He said it's like a spirit sonic boom.
I didn't get this earlier, and I just want to make sure I'm clear on it. You couldn't hear the voices.
No.
But you did hear the bang.
No, and this is what's super profound.
Wait, no or yes? You heard the bang.
We heard the bang.
Oh, okay.
We felt the bang.
That's what I thought.
We thought we were dying, for real. Dying. So
I probably would have died.
I want to go back
Just
to
saying.
what Scotty said because it's really relevant in understanding what we're looking for. Because when Scotty prefaced the fact that we could hear those voices echo off the walls, that obviously has to be in like a physical form.
It does. But you couldn't hear it.
You couldn't hear it, but it was still there physically to bounce off of another solid object. Now, when people talk about
and that's
ghosts,
a frequency thing, right?
It's a frequency
that we
thing.
can't hear it, but the audio can be picked up?
Absolutely.
Okay.
So it's a lower frequency than what our ears can hear.
Gotcha.
So when we talk about spirits, a lot of people refer to them as energy. Energy, okay? So energy doesn't have weight, okay? So when you're sitting in a location and you're sitting in a room and you hear boots walk up to you, but there is nobody there and you physically feel it on the hardwood floor, that means whatever is there is within our dimension, within our realm of existence, and it has weight, but we can't see it. So are we living multiple lives at one time, or is there multiple universes or parallels going on all at the same time, and you can't hear it? Except the boots.
What's interesting about that, you can hear the boots, but you don't hear a voice. But if you play back an EVP, you'll hear the voice talk to you. That's connected with the boots.
Yep.
So
that's what Barry was saying. Barry was saying it was, and I guess that's just the best way because I said that I was talking about buying the house.
Right.
That is a no-no because the story of how this family obtained the house was very special, and it was meant for this family to keep. And so when I brought that up, something became very upset, I believe, because what was it, Scotty, 22 or 18?
Okay, you said the house was being remodeled, not that they were moving out.
It was just being remodeled. We got 18 class
Yes.
EVPs, class A EVPs,
Clear, concise.
in 10 minutes
Yes.
of that after that
What?
event happened. And they were all referring to either that they're saying die. We had one where a lady came through and she goes, well, that must have hurt. Literally talking about that event. The house was packed full of spirit.
Wow.
They left an EVP one time and says, Rocky, please stay. Yeah,
No.
bro, I stayed.
You did?
No, I was out like a son of a bitch.
I wouldn't.
Exactly.
Somebody would have had to put that fire on my ass out. That's
Fire
what
on your ass, fire extinguisher.
God.
All right, Scotty, we got a couple minutes here. We got 3 minutes. What, if anything, has working in this field? I mean, how has it made you a better person? And is there a way that work in this field can connect you more at a spiritual level to understand that our existence is much greater than what a lot of people think it is?
I've never thought of it in the terms of what has it done to make me a better man. I don't know about that, other than you gain a respect for something that is there. What it did do to me initially was it flew in the face of things I had been taught on a religious level. Mm-hmm. And I said, how can this be happening if this is what I was taught? And it made me question things. It made me think deeper. At the same time, you got to say it makes you respect life a little bit.
Exactly.
I haven't told you much about this, but I connected with, for a very brief moment, my great-grandfather, who was murdered back in 1926 when he was a young man over his political views. And he said, hey, kid, to you, you know what that does to me? It lets me know that there is connection that can be made. Mm-hmm. And then you have to ask why and what and how. If things on a religious level are this way, why am I doing this? Why do I get this? Is something different than what I was taught? And so it makes you think things through. It makes you go through and evaluate what you're getting, who you're listening to, because it's not all a lie of Satan, which is what you're told in some circles. It's not that at all. So I think that's as close as I can come to answering that question with any cogency.
I actually think that was a great answer, to tell you the truth. It makes you explore, like we talk about on the show, it makes you explore the realities and the indoctrinated reality that we live in. And so when we name this show Abnormal Realities, really, what is the definition of reality, right? So, and that's why we're grateful to have you on, brother, because we go down avenues that, a lot of current society just don't go down. And when you deal with the spiritual realm, research the religious realm from all different aspects. You've researched many different religions, and you kind of find yourself in the long run, having many more questions than you do get answers. You know what I mean? And there is that frustrating.
Well, that's
point.
what I'm hoping happens for me is I've got all these questions. I will get answers. I get that, but it's going to create more questions.
It sure is, because
the questions
and the more research. Yeah.
The questions will always tell us more than the answers ever will.
That's a fact. Scotty Roberts.
That's what I found.
We got a minute, brother. Let everybody know. Graphic design work. ScottAllenRoberts.com. Your books. Come on.
Thanks. ScottAllenRoberts.com. That's Allen is ALAN. I always have to specify that. You can also hear Intrepid Radio over at Mr. Scotty Roberts on YouTube.
Mr. Scotty Roberts
Very
on
good.
YouTube. Folks, I'm telling you, if you need graphic design, go to ScottAllenRoberts.com. Check out his work. Also, author of multiple books and having another one coming out soon, so make sure you keep up. Look him up on all the social media sites as well. Brother Ron Phillips. Brother, give me some.
Oh, give me some.
Yeah,
give me
first
some.
week in the books.
Yes, sir.
First week in the books.
First week, and it's Freaky Friday, and we got through it. Thank you.
Freaky Friday. Oh, here's the music.
Thank you, Scotty.
Scotty, we love you, brother. Hold on there just 1 second. Ladies and gentlemen, hey, you have a fantastic weekend. We love the hell out of you. Thank you all so much for hanging out with us this week. Facebook, everywhere. And go to TikTok. Look for Abnormal Realities. AbnormalRealities.com. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Ron Phillips, I'm Rocky Stucci. Have a great weekend. Ron, take us out.
Yeah, bye.
Yeah, bye.
This is the sedition.
All right, we're clear
man.
on that.
All right.
Thank you, Scotty. We appreciate you sticking with us.
Thanks,
Dude.
Ron.
Dude, Scotty, we got to get you on and get really deep on some
We could we can.
historical religion stuff, bro.
Everybody,
I deserve
me just tell
congratulations tonight for not getting deep.
for not what?
Not getting deep.
Oh,
Many times I pulled myself back tonight and said,
but that's
using
okay.
the
We're
pull-out
gonna
method.
give you that opportunity. We're gonna tell everybody bye real quick.
On
Scotty,
social
hang
media?
on. Yep. Take care, guys. We'll see you next Monday. Bye. Stop.